All right, y'all. This is part two because I don't know. For some reason, when I play share system audio, it seems as if it gets louder. So, just in case, I'm going to lower this a little more. All right? And y'all should still be able to hear it because, damn, y'all should still be able to hear it. Now, anyways, now some backstory so we can tie all of this together. All right? And how do you handle relationships? Years ago, when I was dog sitting, I was given the gift of ganja, but I think that ganja was laced. And I refer to this event as the dream because it was so surreal that I still question whether it happened or didn't happen. Nonetheless, I got the message and I'm bringing it to y'all. So I remember falling asleep, then I remember waking up, and then I remember seeing the room purpley as if it was foggy. It was very foggy for some apparent reason. The room looked foggy, hazy, and everything was moving. And I also woke up to the dog licking my junk. Yep. Now this dog was, it looked like Anubis, and it was spayed, I believe that's the term. So I was struck between scared and curious, like what the hell is going on? And a few moments of blackout. Yeah, the time dilation was crazy. Whatever. Anyways, fast forward, then I hear the story about the guy who was dragged by a dolphin in open water to be forced to mate. Then fast forward, I hear of people trying to get vasectomies and posing with their spayed dog, saying, "I got it, just like my dog. You should get it." And then now, fast forward, another few years, we hear people talking about the adverse effects and veterinarians talking about the adverse effects of vasectomies, the adverse effect of spaying and neutering in animals, and it's no surprise. Some are trying to push a hormone conserving alternative. But for me, as many of us have said, if it still has to do with removing a function from the body, then it's not natural. You know, it's funny that the same people who would jack off horses so that they can make money, or dogs or cats so they can make money, or any animal so they can make money, they won't use their hand to help calm a dog or cat or horse that has a high libido or find it a playmate. Okay, they won't use their hand to like maybe plant gardens, all right, to become self sustainable. So don't listen to those people, all right? Follow your heart, protect nature. And if you had a similar experience to my dream, then guess what? Nature is calling you to protect it as well. Now, how does this tie into handling open relationships? One thing that any of you have noticed, and many of you have noticed, that when it comes to that energy, the sacred energy, the root chakra, the animal realm, they do not overuse it, and nor do they focus on it. So they don't just seek pleasure. They play with it like an activator of sort. See, that energy reproduces not just offspring, but it reproduces energy, the love energy. It also reproduces healing. Now, for those of you who are kinky role players, you also are able to reproduce this kind of energy and transmute that energy through your entire chakra system. It is not an energy that is to be confined to the root and the sacral. Okay, you have to go beyond it. And when you can learn how to do this, then you will be better equipped to handle open relationships, just like nature is able to have so many open relationships. Okay, and they're able to play with the energy. Look at how they treat that energy. Look how they treat the energies that are within you. All of the energies. They never, especially with the root, if they're messing with you with the root chakra, they never stay on that, do they? Of course not, because they know that the energy is much more profound than the mere carnal pleasure that humans have been trained to think it is. Okay? It is beyond, it is sacred energy. Now, why is this transmutation super important? Okay? Well, have you ever been so I'll ask this. How many of you have been so strung up on a good feeling that you accidentally hit something with your hand or your feet, but you don't feel the pain. You felt the thump, but it didn't hurt. Well, guess what? That same kind of nerve of steel conditioning, because you're so high up on either adrenaline, maybe like for the sports junkies there too. Guess what? That energy can be tapped into when talking or when working with the transmutation of sacred sexual energy. When you observe the dogs and the cats and how they play, especially the dogs are very out there on not giving a shit and trying to tell us and teach us a thing or two, by the way they treat their own their similar species, because we're all one family with nature anyways. When you look at them and how they treat that energy, they never stay focused on that energy. They get to play, and that's what you need to do. Some people will recall the term role play. And the term role play has to deal with sexual arousal, but not actually going into sexual intercourse. All right. So this is very crucial element to be able to handle such relationships that are open, just as open as the relationships that the nature and the animal can have. Okay, you need to be able to learn to sit with that energy. Okay, whether you have a partner or whether you have several partners. Okay, learn to sit with that energy. If nature has taught me and anybody and continues to teach anybody anything, is that listen, that energy is for play. You get it? For play, play, but also so that you can heal, so that you can elevate. All right. You need to learn to sit with that energy, observe it, appreciate it, and sit with yourself individually, especially when you're meditating. If you're meditating, when you are meditating and you sit with this energy, let's say you and your partners or partner are involved in some role play and you're doing some foreplay with it as well, right? Cool. Now, those moments that seem like dull, pausing moments, well, those pause moments are moments of nature's energy, the spirit energy, calling you back into yourself to just sit, observe, and work with it, transmute it. That's the call to be an alchemist. That's the call to transmute that energy. You can do that by sitting and appreciating that energy, sitting in meditation with each other and meditating. And when you meditate and you put your focus on your breath and your heart space, and you meditate and you just put all your awareness on that, you enter a space, aka the source, where everything and nothing exists at the same time. Name, language, numbers disappear. And if you can sit with that with yourself and with others, with yourself, then you're able to handle such relationships, because you know that even your past, at that point, you will realize many people will realize that a lot of your past relationships and past experiences, whatever they may be, if you look hard enough, if you open yourself and let love guide you, you look and observe and reflect enough, well enough, you will find something good. You will find strength. You will find love. You will find protection. You will find nature's wisdom. You will find nature. You'll find the creatures. You'll find flowers. You'll find animals. Okay? They were always present. Nature is the divine realm. Remember, animals are friends, not food. Take that. And my experience and any experience that y'all may have had, similar to my dream, and take that and learn from it. And protect the reproduction um, systems of your spirit animal companions. Okay? Because when you, like I've said, when you observe how they treat that energy, when you observe just how intelligent they are with that energy, it's no wonder even in like the furry community, people are drawn to the animals, because the animal, and people, you don't even have to be in the furry community, just people in general are drawn to animals. Why? Because they are wise with the spirit that is in all of us, that expresses itself throughout all the chakra systems, throughout all the energy systems. Okay? When you can do that, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you'll be able to better equip yourself to handle relationships that are open a lot better. Okay? Jealousy will disappear, envy will disappear. Also, at the same time, you can tap into this energy for like training and conditioning for the martial artists and the kinky fighters out there. You can, uh, I'll use the example, there's the practice of breaking in martial arts. Some people will use a tree or wood, and then they would put either some newspaper or a thick amount of paper or even a towel to thicken it up a little, so that way they have some kind of barrier between the hard surface and their knuckles and their bones. And this is, I think it's called Wolf's Law. The more you train with these microfractions, the more strong and dense your knee becomes. Now, if you are involved in kinky role playing and transmutation, you can take that same energy and, for example, ab conditioning. You can condition the abs. All right. So not only are you training your body, but you're training your nerves. And when it's grounded in love, you're training your spirit. All right. Everybody has a protective side, a side that a warrior side, a spirit, a warrior spirit, a spirit that wants to protect what it loves, that wants to protect life. It's also important to check your diet too. A more plant-based diet is going to be better for you because you're not going to be able to handle these relationships or that energy in general. Okay, if you're eating dead animals. Okay, now I get that some people eat unfiltered eggs. I mean, unfiltered, unfertilized eggs. All right, non-fertilized eggs. Um, and I get that some people eat scale fishes like tuna, salmon. Um, but obviously, a more plant-based diet is still way better. Okay, and there are a lot of nutrients in different herbs and condiments like turmeric. So, for example, turmeric is perfect. Like, let's say you're involved in a kinky role play and transmutation of energy. You got your whole ceremony going on. This is sacred, right? Maybe you have your cats or your animals or any bird, some other nature creature is in the space, all right, because they do a very good job of taking your attention away from being stuck on the lower chakra. So let's say you have this space, and let's say now you, when your partners, you're playing with your energies, and your attention has been brought to the energy itself, what is starting to feel like a low moment, or maybe someone's a trauma or a shadow is starting to show up. Well, guess what? Shadows and traumas tend to inflame the nervous system. So this is where turmeric steps in. Now you have turmeric. Some people put turmeric right here. Some people put the turmeric here. Or maybe you have a turmeric shot. Take a shot of turmeric tonic. All right. And then that'll help with the elevation of that energy and getting through any blockages, internal blockages. So again, putting it all full circle, from my dream to the news to the vets to what we've been taught, to put it all together, you can now hopefully see, for many of you, I know many of you are very wise, you've been doing your own homework, you've been doing your own development, you can see that, okay, this is why, number one, animals are friends, not food. This is why, number two, protect those animals from being spayed and neutered, and learn about, if you look at the foods that they have for animals, there are a lot of plant ingredients, a lot of plant ingredients. And number three, learn to transmute the energy. Okay, don't stay, don't limit that energy to the root and the sacral chakra. Don't limit it to that, because it's beyond that. It really is beyond that. You can literally unleash the inner god and goddess, the formless self. All right. We're looking at Matagi, the goddess of arts and supernatural powers. Yes, I'm Matangi. Yeah, Matangi. Yeah. Okay, I like this. This is so relevant right now. Holy crap. 19%. Wow, man. I haven't even used it's barely been an hour. I'm just processing. I got so much energy processing through this thing. Take all that healing energy, y'all. So, anyways, hope y'all learned something from that. I'm gonna end it right there. I hope the music wasn't so loud either. Peace. Oh, look, it said not yet.